What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Razor fucking Radio. I'm your host today, Tanner Poppet, and joining me today is Miss Emily, Miss DJ Merman. How you doing today, Miss? Thanks so much for coming on and hanging.
I'm doing fucking fantastic, man. How are you fucking doing?
I'm doing well. As you can probably guess already, Andy is out this week. He is currently in recovery mode, as all you guys are well aware of who have been paying attention to this station and or his personal Facebook. You guys know what's going on. So get well, Andy. But before and we just came in obviously with the brand new Immortal Guardian track, Clocks, from their and I can't ever pronounce this, so my apologies. But I think it's called Psychoschematic. Is that what it is? It comes out this weekend, so make sure to go pick that up from M Theory Audio Records, right? So
Yeah.
there you go. Now what I wanted to kind of brainstorm here is what are you kind of looking forward to this year as far as a new release goes from either an old band or a potential new band?
Well, I think everyone always knows that I'm excited for the new EP from Violence, and Phil Demmel keeps going live and showing us little snippets of Perry playing drums or him soloing. It's fucking sick, dude.
Absolutely. But like, are you looking forward to like a certain genre
Metal, I
coming
mean,
out?
thrash, I guess. That's
Okay.
that's like usually my number one.
Yeah, but the problem with a lot of us thrash bands is our guitar tones tend to sound the same nowadays, and our vocals, and that's probably pretty much the only thing that is kind of like the difference here, are just the vocals.
What's
I don't know.
cool
I mean, that's just me.
for me, like I said, Phil keeps showing us all the new Violence stuff. What's cool, dude, is it actually sounds like the old '80s tone. Like it sounds like fucking vintage fucking Violence.
Interesting. I wonder
Yeah,
which
dude.
ones they're
Fucking,
using.
and he deletes it after, and I'm like, great. So now I can't. Well, you don't even have fucking Instagram, but it's sick, dude.
Absolutely. Yeah. I haven't been on those platforms in a heck of a long time. So, but hopefully all is well out there for paying attention, listening in, and hanging out with us. So we do appreciate it. But I was kind of so one of my that I'm kind of looking forward to, and we'll play them later in the show or whatever. But I'm definitely looking forward to that new some new Hellstar. Okay, because super underrated band, doesn't get talked enough about, enough in my personal opinion. But yeah, it's gonna be fucking awesome. So that's definitely one I'm looking forward to checking out.
I feel like
That's
you've
what.
been like obsessing about
Mhm.
them for the last few weeks because we've been talking about them like nonstop, and you're like, dude, I want to interview them. I want to fucking interview. That would be fucking sick, man.
I'm trying to get in contact with James Rivera. So if anybody has any contacts, I'd love to get the opportunity to interview him on Poppet's Corner and learn about all that stuff. But yeah. So there's one for you, and then I'm hoping, and this might be out of line here, but I'm really hoping that the new Vector is going to be like redeeming worth, as far as like, because their quality of material, man, on like those first three records are just like out of sight, man. um
I agree, dude. Like, especially with the vocals, and I think because me and you've been talking about how he's kind of toned it down with the whole screaming thing. I think he's kind of doing with like what Dave and like from Havoc is doing, and like they're like, well, dude, we just don't want to scream our lungs out the whole entire gig, and by the end of the gig, we're just over it. So I think
I,
I'm excited about that. So I think it's gonna be more of like a toned down screaming, like for Dave on that record. Yeah,
I'm kind of curious what he's going to bring in. I don't think the new track that they released last month or the month before will do the new material justice. I'm really
I agree.
really pushing for like a higher Vector standard, as I'll call it. You know
Pretty
what I
much. I
mean?
mean, with those first three records, I mean, they kind of like made it where they have to have that higher standard.
Yeah, well, yeah, within that specific band, and the new drummer and bass player are fucking killer
I know, right?
on that new track or whatever. If the drums and bass are gonna sound that great, I'm stoked. I just I'm really curious what they're gonna do stylistically wise on this new material. You
Same
know.
here. Another one I'm super excited about is Manic Ritual.
Oh right, yeah, they're coming back together too.
Yeah, it's like Jeff Potts, Ben Motzman.
Dan
I
Ellis.
always forget the singer's name, and then they got Carlos Cruz.
Oh yeah, you mean Dan? Yeah.
Yeah, I always forget his name. But I'm excited because now Carlos Cruz is posting like stuff about the drumming that he's doing for Manic Ritual.
Yeah, good friend of the show. Absolutely, you know. So there's some new records that obviously are going to be released hopefully in the near future. We'll see, right? Um,
Yeah.
you know, there. What I will say though, I've been getting hit up a lot to play shows, so it seems like there's going to be an influx of shows happening in the near future. So I can just tell everybody, publicly speaking, it seems like that we'll have some kind of live concerts this year, right?
Andy, Exodus.
There you go. But you know, so yeah, so look forward to that. There'll be some new shows happening. I can't announce anything yet as far as Madras you know, dates go, but you know, once everything's finalized, we'll let everybody know. But yes, live shows I guess will be happening in 2021. Who
I
knew?
hope so, dude. Like I'm dying here. I want to cover some shit, man.
I do too. Yeah, I want to do some field work as I call it, where me and Andy just get on each other's shit the whole time. So it'd be awesome.
I
Um,
want me and Andy to cover like a Madras show. That'll be fucking sick.
that would be cool. Well, like I said, when I you know get you know the final thing, I'll let you guys know. But yeah, so let's get into some tunes right now. We'll turn to our conversation. I got some good stuff planned this time around. So
Definitely. So we're gonna play some Activate from Vector here on.
Razor Radio. All right. That was a nice little birthday present to me. That was a little Madras for Charring the Rotting Earth. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to be officially out of my 20s. So here's the start to a new decade, and let's fucking rage, you know? So that's all I got to say about that.
I'm so excited. You told me today that you got a bouncy castle for your birthday.
I did. Yeah, I'm never too old for a bounce house. So
Definitely, dude.
go figure. But so I wanted to kind of get into this, you know, the subject of reissues. I'm kind of always torn between because some of them sound great and then some of them don't.
I can agree with
So,
that.
you know, what do you kind of look for in a reissue?
If they re-recorded their stuff, like I remember when fucking Megadeth did the whole. I always have to go back to that Megadeth with Rest in Peace. That's not a solid reissue.
Well, but okay, but what I'm talking about in a reissue form is like, let's say they have all the old, let's say they have the old stuff, right? But they have like a lot of bonus material. Are you a fan of the bonus material?
I am to a point. I mean, it's cool because they kind of throw you like a bone, like, "Hey, look at this, dude. We did this."
Yeah, but I'm saying like let's say there's like harsh fucking demos that like shouldn't be out there. Do you really want to buy a reissue with those harsh kind of stuff, you know? Stuff that should probably never, you know, see the light of day.
Depends on the band for me.
Okay, like name one. Like give me something. So if
Like
Violence
Violence. If Violence released like something with old like Sean vocals, I'd be like, "Fuck yeah, Raw, cool. I don't care. Just hand it to me. I'll fucking that fucking Futurama meme. Take my money."
All right. All right. I mean, you'll probably be doing flips or whatever, like Bender says too. So,
Probably. I mean,
probably. All right.
as long as like the cover has him like in the turtleneck, cool.
Turtleneck metal. We'll have to.
Dude, I laugh at that till this day. Whenever I put on some Violence, I'm like, yeah, we're gonna listen to fucking turtleneck metal.
We need to get Sean on here. That would be fucking rad.
I think that's an easy get. You have Andy fucking Ford. Andy fucking Ford's buddies with him.
Yeah. Well, when he listens to this, hopefully he can make that happen because that would be awesome. Get some.
He's tuning in right now.
Some new Violence, and I know he's supposed to be sleeping, but he is tuning in. So
he says you're old.
That's okay. He's not. He ain't wrong. Anyway, but in terms of like, I would never want to fucking reissue with like all re-recorded material. I think that's just dumb.
It's because like the vocals are different. I mean, their vocals aren't always going to sound the same anymore. I mean, I know it's like fucked up to 6. You get older, but I don't know, like some shit just doesn't sound good anymore.
Well, I always said if you don't have the masters or something like, I guess it would make sense to re-record stuff, you know. But if you're gonna like reissue it and put the original artwork on it, and then fucking you put that as a remix remaster, and I'm not saying Megadeth is not the only culprit here, right? There's plenty of other bands.
Yeah.
Um, but I just don't think that it's that genuine to label that as a reissue.
Yeah, the only thing that bothers me is I don't know what he lost the tracks and he had to re-record. Always get it wrong. Is it "Take No Prisoner"? He re-recorded the vocals on that one.
Five magics. But at that point, wouldn't you tell yourself, like, let's not do that. Let's just like remaster it, the original tracks. If like, you know what I mean? Because your prime example, like I lost the vocal tracks to our first record, right? So I don't have them anymore.
That's all.
But on like on an upcoming release or whatever, I didn't just say, you know what, I'm gonna re-record the vocals and then put that as a fucking remaster remix, reissue. I just don't think that's fair to the fans.
I'd actually like to see you re-record your stuff because I want to see if you can still hit those high notes from back in the day, dude.
Well, you guys will know live.
Well, I mean, but
live's where it's at. But
well, I'm just saying because you say you guys don't really cover those tracks. I'm saying like if you actually re-recorded an older record, you don't really play the older record like Maleficent and Into the. I guess that one's wrong because that one's like a mouth like twister, man.
Well, you always have a brain fart. Yeah, Into the Quiet Sector. I wouldn't want to re-record those records though.
I'm just saying it would be cool to see if you can hit those notes.
There'd be absolutely no point since I own the masters.
Yeah, I was just saying if you could hit the notes, like.
But there's my little rant about some reissued stuff. So that's all.
Yeah, well, you know what I want them to reissue? I want Violence to own their fucking record for oppressing the masses, and then repress that and re-release that, so I don't have to spend $500 to have that as an OG copy.
Okay, well let's go with that route. What if Violence re-recorded that record and put it out?
Okay, I'll buy it. Take my money.
Okay. I mean that would be probably a good album to kind of do because Violence still sounds relatively the same. Mm-hmm. Sean relatively sounds like Sean used to back in the day, right? That would make sense.
And fucking Phil still kills it, and Perry, dude, if you saw the videos they've been posting, Perry's fucking killing it.
Yeah, dude, he's like what Tom Hunting is, just underrated as far as like as far as a drummer goes, Oh, yeah. And I put and speaking of new releases and stuff, we should get into some new Cannibal Corpse here soon. That's what we hopefully we'll put that at the end of this specific episode. But Paul is one of those drummers too that just nobody sounds like him.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree.
Well, so I think you might be potentially have a contact to this next band which we're gonna do.
I do have a contact.
But are you gonna actually go through with it?
That's where I need your little expertise. I have never done a Skype call by myself, so you're gonna just work with me on that one because they're from Poland. They don't do StreamYard.
Who's the band?
Crystal Viper.
Let's get into it.
I just have to schedule it with Marta Gabriel.
Okay.
It's just the whole Skype call thing.
Well, let's get into some of that because I'm curious to hear what it sounds like.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking badass. Dude, it kind of has like a Maiden sound, dude.
Let's get into it. This is
we're gonna play The Calling from Crystal Viper here on
Razor Radio. All right, that was some Pounder for you with Deadly Eyes. That good friend of the show, Matt Harvey, and all the boys from Pounder. I love that he has like 8 different bands and they're all different. Like he doesn't just have 8 different death metal bands. He's got 8 different bands and they all kind of sound different, right?
Yeah, definitely. That's sick.
That's off the new Breaking the World record. Everybody should go pick up a copy of that. That thing fucking slays.
That's been all over my social media for the last like 3 weeks, I want to say. Nonstop. Like I just see like a picture of the record, and then when you guys interviewed them last week, I was like, oh shit, cool.
Well, that means Shadow Kingdom's doing a heck of a job then promoting it. So props to
Yeah.
them. But there's only a couple of those bands, man, that do it for me in the new traditional heavy metal thing. You know, where they actually have like their own substance and not just sound like what Matt Harvey was talking about last week. The
Yeah.
same three chords or whatever.
Yeah, it definitely gets boring, dude.
Yeah, but when you stumble upon a band like Pounder, you tend to stick with them. So keep going,
Yeah.
guys. That fucking record rules.
Yeah, I finally listened to it like when we were going through some like earlier this week and then when we were picking some stuff, I was listening to it. Fucking sick, dude. Solid.
Absolutely. Well, what are you looking forward to the most? Let's say so that all the restaurants are closed, the shows, blah 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 blah. What are you looking forward to happening again? Going back to regular life.
I'm looking forward to shows and then we do a lot of drag racing. We're into cars here. Like we love nitro cars. So like all of our friends, we go do like the small races, which we're part of teams. And then on top of that, NHRA racing. So it's gonna be cool to get back to that and to get back to going to regular shows and then going to Vegas for the shows. That's one of my favorite things.
I wonder if there are, yeah, I mean, I wonder how that's all gonna come into play. Hopefully not, there'll be an easy transition back to regular
Well,
life.
Vegas is actually kind of not show wise, but in November I went to fucking Vegas and saw drag races. The only thing is, you guys have to wear your mask the whole time. So like if you're like have your alcohol next to your mouth to just not have the mask on, they'll be like, dude, you got to put the mask up, and I'm like, okay, because you can't breathe, man. It's fucking hot up there, desert weather.
And that's why I don't go out.
Right?
But yeah, I want to definitely see some live shows. But I also want to play some live shows because now that we're slowly getting back into like practicing as a band and we haven't done that in fucking 5-6 years. So I'm looking forward to actually playing again now that I'm going to have some confidence between all of us and I know we can do it. So that's one thing I definitely miss is just playing the shows. And I do have a feeling though this year that or this in the next coming years, I'm sure I'm going to be doing a lot of tours. So you and Andy will have to definitely man the fort, as I call it, and kick some ass, on Razor.
Yeah,
So
that'd be cool. I'm dying to see the new record live, the new Madras one, dude. Like, because for me, that record from start to finish is phenomenal. So I've been dying to fucking see it live.
I appreciate it. I'm dying to play some of the older material because now that we've kind of had a break, and I know I've said that like I never wanted to really play for a couple of years the first couple albums. I'm looking forward to playing them finally because I've had that break, you know. So now that with this whole reissue coming up, details will be announced hopefully soon. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to playing most of the songs that we haven't played since the album came out.
Yeah.
Because that record's like almost 10 years old. So it's been, almost a decade since some of those songs have been played.
When is it hitting a year? Isn't it? Didn't you say next year?
Yeah, next year. Next year will be 10 years. But
Dude, that's fucking crazy, dude.
I know. As Andy Ford says, I'm old.
He says,
And
grill them all.
well, I'm looking forward to that too. Okay. The last time me and Andy went there, I was kind of heartbroken that, I couldn't sit inside and eat there. So that'll change hopefully soon. Hopefully.
Yeah, and I'm excited since I'm invited to join you guys and do that stuff with you guys.
Absolutely. It'll be fun. It'll be a new venture and stuff. But what should I say? Like obviously with what have you kind of valued more with this whole pandemic?
It's been cool. Like my brother was always gone every weekend, so it's kind of cool that like we've actually been hanging out more and like doing like family stuff. Like we did like a fire thing last week. It was fucking cool. Like so it's been kind of nice. We've like actually been hanging out instead of like all of us all being gone all the time.
Totally. Yeah, I mean I could agree with that.
What do you value?
What am I valuing? My bandmates, to be honest with you. And here's my reason for it. So obviously we lost some Sacrificer, their guitar player, passed away a couple weeks ago. So again, another nail in the coffin for us guys that grew up in that community, me and you included, right?
Mhm.
Now, with that whole thing, it just made me like realize just how important everything is to me, and especially my bandmates. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
I kind of like I kind of feel for like when Metallica kind of lost Cliff and those kind of stories, you know, that would suck.
Yeah, definitely,
So,
dude.
and then obviously losing, yeah, and I, I'm sure the first couple shows that we continue to do whatever, I'm going to be dedicating them to you know, a couple of our peers who are no longer with us. Adrian Mejia is included in that.
Yeah.
Again, people within our community I value way more so than ever before. Not just musicians, photographers, artists, radio guys. You know, Andy Ford, you. And then I'm starting to appreciate myself a little bit more too, which I haven't done in a while. So I
That's
don't know.
always good, dude.
So that's all. Not to get all sappy on you folks, but let's get in this. Let's go out with a banger. And this is obviously one band I always fucking forget about, but I'm not going to today. Let's go all the way to Texas. This is the first single off of the Clad in Black release that's coming up in a few weeks for the Mighty Hellstar. Right now on Razor Radio. Thanks so much, Emily, for joining us.
Mhm.